Well, you'd be excused over the past few days if you spent any time online for thinking that in fact Donald Trump had been arrested or even that Vladimir Putin was behind bars. Photos like this one have been popping up all over social media in the wake of potential charges being laid against Trump and an arrest warrant being issued for Putin. But the reality is that none of this is remotely true. I mean, it looks pretty schmick, but in fact the images have been created by readily accessible image generators powered by artificial intelligence. And if this sort of stuff can be done now, then how the hell are we going to be able to tell what is and isn't real in coming years? Well, to try and make sense of all this, I'm joined now by tech expert Trevor Long. Trevor, welcome. I mean, this is astounding stuff. Just briefly take me through how it is possible to create something so realistic as these images.
Yeah, good evening, Carl. Basically, this is about harnessing the power of computers, but in the hands of individuals via the internet. So imagine a movie studio. Over many years, they've had bigger and better computers that have done amazing things to make, videos look real, CGI graphics in movies. That kind of technology is now being put into back-end systems that allow an individual to upload a photo of a person, and essentially that models their face, and then choose ways or stances or situations where that person might be and essentially undertake a photo shoot. Now, in this situation, they've paired, a particular image, a person being arrested with a particular face. And, the outcome is pretty impressive, given we used to just relate to this as being something you'd done in Photoshop, but now anyone without those skills can do it.
Exactly. I mean, some of this stuff looks much better than anything you'd expect to get out of Photoshop. And I mean, I've been a reporter, I'm a TV host now, I was a newspaper chief of staff. And in all of these roles, this is deeply concerning because, even with a forensic look at some of these images, they look very legitimate. Is there any way, really, to counteract some of these AI-created images? And how the hell are we going to be able to tell what is real from what is fake when we're making decisions about what is shown to people in news and on social media?
Yeah, I think for the average individual, I don't even have an answer to that question. I think it's very hard, and that's why these things go viral, because in a world of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, someone sees something, it looks amazing, and they add a caption to it and they share it, and it becomes viral because it is so amazing, not thinking about whether or not the photo is real. And it could be many years before we essentially introduce that thinking process into the minds of the average Joe. And Caleb, that thinking process is what I would refer back to your newspaper days, where the photo editor or the editor of the magazine or newspaper would look at something and go, can we run this? Where did we get it from? Who's the source? Who's the photographer? And that's the kind of sub-editing that real people need on the internet today that does not exist and probably never will exist. So we're in for a bit of a rollercoaster ride here with regards to what we can believe. And remember, photos is just the start. When this gets easier to do it in video form, and if you've seen the Tom Cruise on TikTok videos, he's not on TikTok, but a bloke that looks the same body build and has the technology to manipulate his face, looks just like Tom Cruise. But that kind of thing is what's most troubling to me, because then we're going to get videos of people looking the same, voice analysis, the sounds the same, and it's going to create real problems.
Well, that's it. I mean, we see reports today that scammers will start using this voice technology to basically create convincing fake audio and use it to get into bank accounts and all sorts of things. It's a brave new world we're moving into. Trevor, thank you for joining me this evening.
Pleasure, anytime.